Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Roman and I am in the process of rebuilding Tesla Model 3 2018. It's a third one actually that I'm rebuilding. Anyway, this video is going to be basically an update of me going to a Tesla dealer with this third build. And just bear with me, it's going to be a lot of talking because there were some mistakes that I think I could have avoided, and I'm gonna share them with you guys so you can make sort of educated decision based on my experience. So anyway, the previous build had a similar problem. When I finished the car and the car was calling for an update, and when I hit yes when it started an update, somewhere in the middle of the firmware update, car got hung and wouldn't respond. The MCU portion of the car wouldn't respond, which is responsible for navigation, I think even stuff like windows, door locks and stuff like that. But I could still drive the car, but the screen was completely blank. But anyway, I called dealer and set up an appointment, and when I got there I asked them two questions. One was if they can go, well, one of the question was, can I buy a used computer, install it myself and just bring car for a programming? The answer was no. And I believe that's not exactly accurate. I mean, I have nothing to prove that it's to prove otherwise, but I do believe that they should be able to reflush the computer, put a new VIN number in it, and you should be, you know, good to go. But it's really up to a service center that you're talking to. So your local service center maybe will be a little bit easier on you, and maybe they'll let you do it. But at that time mine didn't. So my second question was, since version 2.5 or 2 and third or 3.5 version are about the same price, can you update me with the newer computer? And they said no. So they changed the computer, reflashed everything, and when I was picking the car up, at that time I had a message that it was like regenerative braking reduced, and there was another message, and they couldn't exactly fix that. I drove the car home, which is about 30 minutes away from them, a little bit more, and while I was driving, the car calibrated and all messages went away, and I was good to go. So I believe that was my first mistake. I should have tried to change the computer myself and just bring them car for programming. But anyway, that's in the past. So with this one, I'll tell you exactly how everything went. I actually assembled the car, and car was calling for an update, but this time it wouldn't give me an option yes or no. It just said contact Tesla. So I called Tesla, and they tried to kind of push it over the air, and it still didn't go through. So they told me that I need to contact my local service center. So I set up an appointment through the app. And no, I actually called first. I called and I talked to a guy, and I told him, explained him situation, and he said, yeah, just go ahead and set up an appointment through the app. I set up an appointment through the app, and after about a day, maybe even less than a day, I get a notification that my appointment was canceled due to car being unsupported, which is salvage. Tesla call it unsupported vehicle. So and there was a link to their policy, which I actually just pulled on my computer just to double check, read their policy again. So I called them, and there was a girl. She picked up the phone, and I explained her situation, that I'm set up an appointment. The appointment was canceled, and she was like, "Yeah, but your car is unsupported." And I was like, "Yeah, I understand that. I know the car has been in an accident. I know car has a salvage title, but I need you to guys help me with fix this problem." And she said she would call me back. So after several hours, she calls me back and says that she did an extensive research. She even reached out like a higher level people, and they recommend change my computer from version 2 to version 3, which would cost about $1,400. I was like, yeah. I actually should have tried and replaced the computer myself, but at that time, to be honest, I wasn't thinking about it. I was just kind of worried that if this service center is gonna say no, we're not gonna touch your vehicle because it's salvage, because it's really, as far as I understand, it's really up to a service center. If service center determines that your vehicle is unsafe to work on, they're really not, they'll refuse you a service. So to be honest, I was kind of happy that I had an option to get this newer version of a computer. It's a little bit, the software is a little bit different than 2.5 or version 2. Because my daughter's car have that computer, third version computer, and I had second version, and there were slight differences. Nothing major, not like a huge deal breaker. But anyway, I was pretty happy that I had that option, and it was actually quite a bit cheaper than it used to. The computer itself used to be $1,500 plus installation, and this time they knocked down $500. So computer was $1,000, and they, with taxes and everything, it was like 14 something. So anyway, I set up an appointment, took my car there, and after next day they're calling me, and they're saying that there's an issue with the radar on the front. It's a device on the front, and they said they replaced the computer. The car is now online, but they can't finish an update because of that radar. So they tell me that it's gonna cost an extra almost $900. Well, that brings me to mistake number 2. At that point, I didn't think things through, and I kind of said, yes, go ahead, because for some reason I thought, well, I don't have any other option. And it's my mistake not thinking this through and just rushing things. I gave them a go, but when I got their invoice, I looked at the invoice, which is right here, and when I looked what that $900 was for, and then I realized that they're charging me. And I usually, in my videos, I usually praise Tesla for their parts being cheap. In this case is this particular, the case of replacing radar, and there's going to be another thing that I'm going to tell you in a little bit. Is different. This is quite a bit more expensive than if you go a different route. So anyway, afterwards, when I already gave them a go and they pretty much completed the job, I found out that The radar itself cost $255. They also replaced two brackets. There's like a little plastic bracket, and there is a metal bracket. The metal bracket was fine. I actually, I'll try to put a image somewhere here on the screen to show you which bracket I'm talking about. My bracket had some like scuff marks, little dents in it, but it was fitting good. But they wanted to replace it, and that bracket was like $5, and another bracket was like $3, which is like nothing for dealer prices. So I gave them a go, and later I looked at invoice, and I realized that the radar itself was $255, and they charged me $253 to replace it, which is okay, because they would have to disassemble the frunk, they would have to take the bumper off, and yeah, then they would have an access to that radar and that bracket. So I understand $250 replacing the radar itself, but what I don't understand, they're charging me $201 to replace the bracket, which is only four screws, four bolts. Yeah, that was mistake number 2. I actually went online and I checked the price for the used part, and you can get a used part for about $150, which is $100 cheaper. But if I did the job myself, they're charging me for programming. They are charging me $105 for calibration. If I got sensor myself for about $150, I could have went there, pick up a car, bring it home, buy the sensor, install it, $150, and take it back to them, and I hope they would charge me same $105 for calibrating. I could be wrong. They could have charged me more, because they could have said that they have a 2-hour limit, which is probably the case with Tesla, if I'm not mistaken, which is $350. But still, even if they would charge me 2-hour minimum, I would still end up with $500 versus $900. So if you get in a situation like this, where there are additional parts that need to be replaced, find out how much is the part, and see if you can replace it yourself and just bring your car for programming. So, interesting thing, I also found that same radar on Amazon, and it said that it's a brand new, and it was $180 something. I'm not sure exactly how it ended up on Amazon, but yeah, there was an option for me to buy it on Amazon. Okay, so that brings me to another. Well, that's actually not a mistake, but that's kind of a lesson, also, maybe, sort of. So anyway, I gave them a go. They replaced the sensor, and the car was supposed to not the sensor, radar, and the car was supposed to be done that evening. So I'm waiting. Car is not ready. I don't hear from them. I'm waiting till the next day afternoon. They're not calling me, so I decided to call them myself. I'm calling them, and I'm talking to a guy, and he was like, let me check, and he's checking. He's coming back to me. He says, well, the car is on hold because there's another issue. There's an issue with the gearbox, the steering gearbox, rack and pinion. And I was like, okay, what's the issue? He says, well, we need to replace it. There's some kind of issue. And I'm like, how much is it gonna cost? And he's like, it's gonna cost another $2,200. And I'm like, whoa. And he's like, that's including the labor and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I understand, but no, let me pick up the car and I'll see what I can do, because I know I checked the price for the steering gearbox for the rack and pinion, and they are, you can get it for $300, $350 from an eBay used one. So I went there, I paid them the previous bill, and I asked them, how much can you give me a price on rack and pinion, just the part. I want to see if I can replace it myself, because the rack and pinion is actually not a restricted part. The radar was a restricted part. You can't buy it from Tesla. You can buy it used, you can buy it from Amazon, but you can't buy it from Tesla. They have a really weird system. There are some things that you can't, like some simple bolts would be restricted, and like more complicated pieces you're fine, you can buy from them. I don't know, it's their thing. I'm sure they have their own reasons, but that's kind of weird to me. But anyway, rack and pinion I could purchase from them, and I was waiting on the price, and she went back to their parts department, and after a while she comes out and she says it's gonna be $2,000. I was like, well, how much is the part itself? And she's like, yeah, that's the part itself. And I was like, well, the other guy said $2,200 including labor. And she was like, I don't know, that's the price. Anyway, I wasn't gonna argue or anything. So yeah, I said, yeah, let me just pick up a car, and I'll figure what else I can do. So I took the car. As I was driving, about halfway, I get a message that the calibration is completed, and there are no error messages on the screen anywhere. Let's go outside. Let's jump into the car and take it on the highway and see how it drives. Okay, let's go. So I'm not sure, guys, if you're gonna be able to see it, but the car is like steering back and forth, and I know that's not how it's supposed to be. Okay, guys, so conclusion is, in my next video I'm gonna start disassembling the frunk, and I'm actually gonna visually inspect the steering gearbox or rack and pinion, and I will determine then whether I'm gonna order the whole rack or I'm just gonna buy the motor. Just stick around. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that bell notification, so every time when a new video comes out you will be notified. And yeah, we'll get it finished in the next video. Stick around.